Hello YouTube, this is Chad and Samuel. Today we're going to be talking to you about continuous integration and continuous deployment. If you're familiar with a service like Bitbucket or GitHub, then you're used to pushing your changes to your applications. Continuous integration takes that a step further and allows you to automatically run tests, scripts, or even other commands on your code once it's been pushed. Samuel, why don't you tell us about the deployment side?
Sure. So what continuous deployment does is once your changes have been verified through integration, it immediately pushes them out to a hosting service such as Heroku. Heroku receives your source code and some dependency description that instructs a build system as to which additional dependencies are needed in order to build and run the application. For example, using Ruby on Rails, it would be your gem file.
Right, and today we're going to add a layer in between that using Codeship to build and run some tests on our code before it ever gets to Heroku for deployment.
Alright, so we'll first start on Heroku. Once you create an account, you'll be sent to the Heroku dashboard where you can create a new application. In this demonstration, we will be using Group S Rails Demo as our application name. And then you can create the app. You'll give your app URL and get URL. And then you'll be taken to your application screen. And now you can head on over to Codeship to create your project. For this demonstration, we'll be using Bitbucket. And then you search for your Bitbucket repository that you want to use. We'll be using our Git repository on Bitbucket. And Codeship allows you to choose what language you are using. And it has a preset of test commands that you can set up. Right here we have our setup commands that we want it to run. And here you go. We'll be using a Ruby version 2.1.0 patch 0. And then we want to set, we want to run rake db migrate. And also we want to uncomment out the execute rspec line so Codeship can run our rspec test. So once we have that set up, we will submit it, and we are presented with a link to set up our post hook in our Bitbucket repository. And this allows Bitbucket to push out our source code to Codeship. So you go over here to settings in your Bitbucket repository, hooks, select post, click add hook, and paste in the URL you were given, and save. Okay, also, you can add a Codeship status image to your README markdown file. You can copy the code below, and then in your README file, paste it in as shown. And then what this does is it will show you the status of your test on Bitbucket. So it will show you while your tests are running, and it will show you when they have passed. So let's save it, and then we'll do a git commit. Type in a comment for our commit. We will added Codeship status in README. Save it, push all, and then we'll need to type in our password. After that, it will push everything out. And as you see, the tests are now running on Codeship. We refresh and we see that our tests have ran and they have all passed, and it took 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Here are all the tests that were ran and the times each one took. Codeship allows you to click any of the individual steps to view the terminal output. And here you go. There are 14 RSpec tests that we had, and all 14 of them passed.
Now this doesn't take care of the deployment side just yet. If we look at our Heroku app, we still have the default page. So what we need to do is we need to continue on to set up our deployment after the tests have run and passed. If we go to the settings page, then we'll see all the tests we set up before, but what we want to do now is set up deployment. If we look at the branch settings, if you're not using the default master branch setting for Git, then you'll want to change that here. But for now we're just going to use Heroku. All you need to get is your application name from your Heroku site, right over here. We can go to settings for that, and we'll just copy it right out of here. And then we'll need an API key. We can get that by clicking here. It's just going to take us to our account settings in Heroku, and then I'll show the API key and type in my password, and we'll copy this right back into Codeship. There's some more options here, but we won't look at those for now, and we'll hit finish. Okay, now that we have that, if we just go back to our project, we can actually, instead of pushing up again, just rerun our last build. Now we're going to skip through this for you so you don't have to wait through this. But we can see it running on Bitbucket over here from our URL that we posted earlier. Now that it's done, we can see that it didn't work for us here, and it shows us all of the errors and stuff like that, but basically what we have to do right now is come in here and set up an option to tell it to run a migration on our website after it's been pushed, the database migration. Now we'll just click that and hit done, and we can run it again, and this time our test should pass. We'll cross our fingers, and we'll skip over it again for you so you don't have to wait. Alright, and we're there. So now you can see all of the steps and tests have passed, nothing failed. So let's go back to Heroku and open back up our app, and we should see our Ruby on Rails application.
Now let's make a change to our application. So we'll just go to the home page of our app. We'll change the heading to a more appropriate title. Save it, and now we want to commit our changes. Add a comment to our commit saying that we modified the home page. Enter, and now we want to do a git push. Enter in our password, and there we go. Okay, so now we can go to Codeship, and check out our continuous integration and deployment test running. And we'll just skip through this to show you that all our tests have passed. We've got the green light, and now we can go to Roku. And as you can see, this website deserves an A. And here's the final product.